Well, the really sad thing about this is that Ironman has no age category for 0 to 4. I tried, because I think I could win it. I honestly do. I think I've got it. Actually, I would like to start just with a few thank yous before I forget these things. First, I want to thank Ironman for letting all of this happen and spreading the best sport on the planet around the planet, because I truly do believe that triathlon is a wonderful sport. Everybody that participates seems to be truly caring, wonderful. They want everybody else to do their best. So I thank Ironman for that. I thank Kelly Ward for driving this. It's a phenomenal thing, and I'll mention in a minute how the money really does make a difference. Of course, thank my wife for putting up with all my shenanigans. I've been doing triathlon for over 20 years now, and as you well know, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. She keeps the home fires burning. She doesn't give me a hard time. But then again, I don't give her a hard time about her horses, so we have a good balance there. There's also 3 people up here with me, Wendy, Mary, and Karen. Just stand up for a minute, because these are 3 of the kindest athletes I've ever trained with. We train together all the time. They are beasts. They're gonna crush the race tomorrow, I know. And I want to thank all the people at MD Anderson. That's just an unbelievable hospital down there. But the most important thing I want to say is thank all of you folks. I mean, you have raised so much money, and just in the short time I've had multiple myeloma, I see breakthroughs constantly. And it's truly the dollars that things like this raise that goes into saving my life. So you people are all saving my life, and I really appreciate that, because I'm kind of having a good time and I want to keep doing this, right? So, all right, Kelly wanted me to talk just a little bit about my situation and how it was diagnosed. And basically, I want to do this just so that hopefully you'll understand a little better and you may learn a little bit more about the disease. I had started my own coaching business, and things were going really good. And I mean, I was training as hard as I ever had, and noticed in 2015, I was working my butt off constantly, but I was getting slower. And it just took me forever to recover from really intense workouts. And didn't think, I thought, well, I'm getting old, right? I am getting pretty darn old. I'm not really one, I'm 64. But anyhow, so I entered a local sprint race, and I kind of misstepped on the run, and it shot a pain up my back that truly stopped me in my tracks. And lesson 1, if something stops you in your tracks, there's something really wrong. Don't ignore that. I ignored it, went on, finished the race in pain, and did take a 3rd place. And then went straight the next day to my chiropractor, who is one of the athletes I've been training for several years. And thank goodness I had him, because he's the type of guy you just call him and say, hey, Tracy, my back's hurt. He said, come on in. Do I need, no, just come on in. And so I went in and told him my situation. He says, that's kind of unusual for you, Rick. So, and he knew I had a half iron coming up in 2 weeks. So he told me, if your back still hurts, then come back and see me. So I went and did the half iron and had a pretty long, painful race, and went right back, and he took x-rays at that point, and he said 2 things that kind of took me aback. He said, well, congratulations on finishing the half iron with a broken back, and 2, I'm sending you to a back surgeon. So I go see the back surgeon, and then he sent me immediately to the cancer center. Turns out I have cancer. Honestly, I think I accepted that right off the bat. I didn't have all the emotions that you're supposed to have, maybe because we train too hard and we get too hardened, I don't know. But, and I accepted that. And the tough pill to swallow was, oh, by the way, your cancer is incurable. Well, that's not good. But anyhow, I went through radiation treatments to kill the tumor in my back, and that all went pretty darn good. And then they sent me down to MD Anderson. I spent the summer of 2016 in the hospital. They harvest your own stem cells, which is that was an easy part of the process. It takes several days to donate your stem cells. And then they superdose chemo you to where you have absolutely nothing. And I'm sure you probably have experienced that, have you not? And then they put your stem cells back in, and that's called your day one. Your body is zero, it's your 0 day. So anyhow, but I apparently recovered abnormally quickly. The doctors and nurses all told me down there, well, it's because you came in such good shape. There's another lesson. You have wonderful gifts in your human body that God gave you. Take care of them. Take care of them to the best of your ability. So anyhow, went through all that, got out of the hospital, still had to stay down in Houston for, it's like a month after I got out of the hospital until my immune system had come back up to where I was safe to go out in public. And the whole time you have to wear masks and gloves and all this stuff. But anyhow, we made it back home, and my thing is, I think my best weapon against this is to train, to be fit. It would be very, very, very easy to sit down and say, woe is me, I've got cancer, I'm gonna sit here and die. I can't do that. I'm a fighter. And my daughter has a famous quote, says, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And so that's what I'm doing. That's, I guess, why I'm still here. I think I still have some coaching abilities in me, not sure. But I'm happy to be alive today. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here at this beautiful venue. I grew up in New York State until I was 10 years old, and I had actually been here watching the bobsled team practice and all, and then we moved to Alabama. And by the way, it's really, really cold up here. We're having a hard time adjusting to this. But anyhow, that's kind of my story, and I hope you two patients get cured. I think the cure is right around the corner. The T-cell immunology, I think I said that right, it's growing leaps and bounds. Actually, I'm gonna keep going until somebody stops me, right? I have a problem with microphones, I like this. Gives me the big voice. I read what one doctor said one time, and he truly believed that in the not too distant future, you're gonna go into the doctor's office for your checkup, they'll draw blood, and they'll call you up and say, oh, Mr. Greif, you have cancer, can you come in Thursday? And you'll go in, they'll draw another vial of blood, they'll pull your T cells out, reprogram them, put them back in, and they'll say, bye, see you, have a nice life. And I guess I cling to that dream. And it may not happen in my lifetime, but hopefully someone out there will benefit. And I guess that's all I got to say.